This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by Froch here in Nottingham. Carl, your man Leigh Wood defends his title against Wood-Lara tomorrow night now. Very fiery Wayne. What did you make of it up there?
Yeah, I thought it was decent. It's a shame there's a language barrier because it could have got a little bit more heated if they could actually understand each other. But it just shows that both fighters are coming to win, and they should both be very confident. Leigh Wood coming off a great win against Conlon, and Lara is just a beast. He can punch. A little bit vulnerable around the body on occasions. All body shots hurt, but he has been over. So if Leigh Wood targets that and manages to pick a few, there's no disadvantage to working the body early anyway, because even if you don't get the stoppage, which he probably won't to the body, it will certainly slow him down and soften him up for the later rounds. So hopefully Leigh's accurate with them body shots early on.
Oh, this is a fight which everybody expects to be entertaining from the very first bell. Nobody expects it to go far. You've had fights yourself where you've had to dig in deep, you've had to go into that last 10 seconds and pull a shot out of the bag. Tomorrow night, do you expect to have to see anything similar from Leigh Wood to overcome Wood-Lara?
Potentially, yeah. This is potentially a really, really close fought contest from start to finish, and I think it'll be ebbs and flows during the fight, and someone might even have to climb off the floor. I mean, Leigh Wood being clipped on the chin, gone over and got up to win before against Conlon, and we've seen that he's got that durability and he's got that powers of recovery and that self-belief to do exactly that. So I'm just looking forward to a great fight.
When you gave him a slot on your undercard those years ago, Carl, would you ever imagine that kind of a passing of a torch, if you will, from you would have led to him being in this position?
I did, yeah, because I always knew he was very skillful and very talented. I think he was just draining himself early doors at the weight in his career, just making a weight that he wasn't suited to. And now he's comfortable at the weight and he performs and he looks good doing it. So tomorrow night, although it's a fight that he's going into and he's probably not the favourite, you've still got to give him every chance.
There's obviously a lot of talk in the build-up to this about what next for either man. Wood-Warrington is the one being mentioned. How would you fancy Leigh's chances in that? And if you saw it at the City Ground, I know it might not be the same as if you used to fought there, but looking at it now, what would it mean for you to see Wood versus Warrington there?
Wood-Warrington at the City Ground would be amazing. It'd be fantastic. I wanted to fight at the City Ground. We actually offered Andi Ward the rematch in Nottingham, but he didn't want to come over to England and do that. He's talking about Wembley Stadium, but that fight I don't think was big enough because no one really knows who Andi Ward was, to be honest. But Leigh Wood at City Ground would be phenomenal. It'd be awesome. And we can't look that far. We need to just take one step at a time. And you're right, Wood-Warrington, that'd be the fight because it's an all-British domestic dust-up. And I think that would fill the stadium. And it'd be amazing. And I'd envy him for that. He thoroughly deserves it, but I'd be very envious because that'd be amazing to be part of and see. And for him to fight at the City Ground in a big fight, against someone I know he can beat in Warrington. I mean, Warrington's a great fighter. Warrington could beat Leigh Wood, don't get me wrong. But I just think Leigh Wood's got that boxing ability and that skill. And if you can, we're talking about something that might not even happen now again. I'm just looking forward to the Lara fight tomorrow, and hopefully he can overcome that big hurdle.
As always, Carl, there's always a few other topics to touch on. We had the announcement of Joshua Franklin the other week. What are your thoughts on that for AJ's comeback fight after his back-to-back defeats to Alexander Usyk?
I think that is a great fight for him because he needs to get his toe back in the water after two losses to Usyk. I think jumping in with Franklin and cheers, mate, taking his time and not jumping in there with too much of a stiff test, I think that won't do him any harm. I think that's a good match for him. And then I want to see him in with a proper fight. He can't spend his time too long fighting like nobodies. And I'm not saying that Franklin's a nobody, but AJ's of that level where you want to see him in top world title fights. You don't want to see him messing around at a low level too long. But he's coming off back-to-back losses. He deserves a chance to find his feet with his new coach, and you can't blame him for that. But I'm going to have to leave it there. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Let's wrap that up, and I'm going to move on to the next guys.
I'll quickly squeeze two more out of you, Carl. Jake Paul, Tommy Fury next week.
I'm really sorry, but I've got to shoot. Jake Paul, Tommy Fury is not a boxing match. There's one boxer in that ring, Tommy Fury, and you better fucking win, or I'm coming for him.